Right on. That
So,
sounds exciting.
Yeah.
so welcome to Pirates of Drinax. We will be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are in the tier system, and they have jumped ahead of the subsidized merchant known as Porthang, and they did a little running around in the high port, or one of the high ports of Tyr, and they discovered a couple things when they came into system. They discovered that shortly, like within a couple of weeks, before maybe a month before they arrived, there was some kind of big battle that happened here, and they learned through carousing and Ting's dealings with the ambassador wing of Tyr, trying to set up some kind of diplomatic relations with Drinax. They learned that evidently the Glorious Empire had come through here and was in the process of pretty much dismantling their orbital facility called Top, which is Tyrian Orbital Prime. And the reason why Tyrian Orbital gets that particular one gets the Prime designation is because that's where their shipyards were at. And the Glorious Empire was going to bomb it. Well, they had just about bombed it to the point where it was just going to fall out of orbit and crash into the planet. But their asses were saved when a small fleet of colonial. Uh, it was a colonial fleet from the Imperium jumped in, and they had a really big flagship, and that kind of got everybody's attention. And there's all sorts of political stuff all over the Tyrian news waves about how well, it really depends on which channel you're watching. Most of the channels are taking the bent that the Empire and Tyr are buddy buddy good friends, and that the Third Imperium came to their allies' aid. Other channels, the more independent minded news channels, are taking a different stance. That the more realistic view is that the Imperium just happened to show up and they had bigger guns and said, "Hey, knock it off, or I'll get the squirt bottle," and the cats decided to leave. Um, that's probably the more realistic view. But the propaganda channels are spreading all across Tyr's data net that uh, that there's this big buddy buddy relationship between Tyr and the Third Imperium. Um, so that's going on. Meanwhile, you guys have to figure out what you're going to do for another 6 days. But before we get started, we would like to say Happy MayDay, the unofficial traveler holiday, May 1st, and all sorts of MayDay deals. The biggest one that I found today was that Bundle of Holding has all 12 volumes of the Journal of the Traveler's Aid Society up for sale now, and for $24.95. I don't think that it goes on much longer. It may only go till midnight tonight, and then it's gone. So hurry up and go grab that, because that's like I forget what they said, but for the PDFs it comes out to like $108. So get it for $24.95, and you'll get all 12 volumes. Um, so yeah, yes, this is our first MayDay episode. I don't know. The Lords of Time have not been on our side in the past. This is the first time we've actually had a Traveler Day on actual MayDay. I couldn't believe it when I looked at the calendar. Like, holy shit, it's finally happening. I mean, what are the odds? Before we get started, we would like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. And today we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard makes wonderful beard products, such as oils, balms, butters, and beard wash, and they have a co-wash and all sorts of great stuff. There's also a line for women called FableBeauty.com, and all of their scent profiles are a different fantasy character. Tonight I am wearing the Hero Beard Balm. It smells of a light pipe tobacco with cologne. But they have a bunch of different scents, and so I recommend going through and checking out all of their different characters. They do have a buy one get one free option for first time purchasers. And if you go to fablebeardco.com and create an account, you can put 2 beard oils into your cart. And when you check out, you can use the code FIRST in all capital letters, and that will get you your second beard oil for free. We also have uh, a online store, merch store via Zazzle. If you go to Zazzle.com, we do have T-shirts and hoodies and pins and a fleece blanket, all sorts of stuff up there. The pirate flag from tonight's game for the Pirates of Drinax is available on T-shirt and on buttons, made by the wonderful Cameron, who plays Captain Beth. And 100% of the proceeds from that channel, or from that store, go back into the channel. That helps us pay for the little nitpicky things like, our Roll20 subscription and Incarnate and all the little map making software doodads that seem to all add up over time. And then they're not little doodads anymore; they're a big bill. So yeah, if you want to help us out, go get yourself a T-shirt and a button, and we appreciate everything you do. So, before we get started, give me 1 second. I will be right back. Sorry about that. My headphones press on my sinuses and then they clog up my nose. So, so you guys have. I would assume that you guys all met back at the ship after carousing at the bar, and Ting's little outing at the ambassadorial complex. Uh, and I would assume by now you guys are sitting in the um, the common area of the Harrier, so that we know what that, just so that we know what that looks like. So you are probably right down here at 15, or possibly up here at 15. Um, and probably, I would imagine you're probably down at the big one. And you're sitting around your tables, and Ting has informed you of what went down with him. I'm sure Beth and Keith have informed everybody of what they learned. What are you doing for the next 6 days? Right?
Well, I mean, there's probably plenty of things to get into uh, here in the wonderful system of Tier. Um, we could we could always do some good old honest theft of some sort.
So, so
On tier.
yeah, tier is a bad idea for piracy and crime.
Well, it's only a problem if you get caught.
That's true.
You could go to the the boxing bar like every single night.
You just keep going back to the fighting chant. Yes, we're gonna get loaded for like a week.
Right. I mean,
I would have a better plan, but
there's a lot of people here on tier.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, tier is a busy place.
We could go to a spacer bar instead too, like hang out and learn some more stuff that way.
So the
Yeah.
so the population of tier actually is relatively low. The actual population of tier is low at about 800,000 people. But there it is the probably the on the Sindalian main, it would be considered the one of the highest population starports. So there's a lot of transient traffic that is constantly moving through here, up and down the main between the Florian League and back to the Third Imperium. The other major port being Asus, and Asus sees a lot of traffic because there's trade traffic that is leaving or coming from. It's traffic coming up from the Aslan Herate that is going either towards the Florian League or to the Third Imperium, and vice versa. So those two ports, Tyr and Asus, are probably your most busy ports on the entire main.
There are multiple Class A starports right here, right?
There are multiple high ports floating around Tyr. Yes.
Okay.
Right now, you are at Tyrian Orbital Beta.
I think I'd like to run an ad to offer people safe passage to rare and distant locations.
Okay.
You know, for affordable prices.
Okay. So,
well,
like a safari? What do you mean?
Well, you know, I want to. Okay, let me tell you what my goal is, so you can figure out what I'm doing better. Is I want to get people to book passage on our ship, right? And then I take their money and space them.
God damn it. I knew that's where you were going to go with this, or you were going to kidnap them and then ransom them back to their family.
That's what I thought was gonna.
I just, we get them, we get all their shit, and we get them on the ship, and we start to go, and then we get, just a kind of out away from everybody, and then beat their ass, strip them down, kick them out the airlock. And then come back and see if anybody else has answered the ad. And, if we time it right, you could get 4 or 5 people at a time. If,
You might get a reputation, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think really what I want to do, though, really and honestly, is I want to look for rare and expensive art that might be on display. I think I would like to go try to break in and steal some shit.
Okay. Okay. So that's what
I've got that's what Ting wants to do, and anyone's welcome to come join me in this endeavor or do your own escapades. I don't give a shit.
So that's what Ting wants to do.
It's gonna be hard to stop him.
Yeah.
Hold on here.
Well, he was asking for activities for a week, and
I think we should all do arts and crafts.
We can do arts and crafts in the museum. That is an excellent cover. Yeah.
Let's crochet in space.
But if I could steal like a multi-million-dollar artifact or something, that would make this time worthwhile.
That's true.
I'm not talking about. I don't give a fuck about no 10 or even 100,000 credit thing. I mean, that shit. I'll fuck off $100K in a poker game and not even know how to play poker. I don't give a shit about that. But if I could get millions now,
So
that
you're
is,
looking for a real heist.
yes, I'm looking
Here
for a
on here.
big, valuable something to steal for fun.
What skills would you need to be a thief?
The ability to get in and take stuff.
Definitely definitely stealth. You probably want some good mechanical abilities for picking locks.
I've got that. I've got computer skills.
That's the other one. You're gonna want some good
Yeah.
computer skills also for picking locks.
I've got I've got a nice battle dress that can sneak around with its chameleon stealth shit. And, I've got stuff. We'll just,
The battle dress might be a little hard to get out.
no, you
Why
just
not?
kind of.
What's the law on this planet?
Oh, it's
That-
very bad. It's not good for wearing
Yeah,
battle
no,
dress. You can't be seen by anybody. I mean, I have a disguise net. I could probably program a chameleon effect out of that, and sneak around.
Or at least just look like somebody really normal.
I could look like other people, and I
No, I'm
mean,
just
yeah. There's
You
you
could
don't.
try building the reputation of your band. That's another option. You
I could do
try-
that.
Yeah, you could play gigs at the Fighting Chance
Yeah.
or something. While
Can I
people
get my
do
battle
it.
dress repaired here?
You probably
know.
could get it repaired here, but not our tech. It'd be lower tech.
Yeah, well, hold on. Let me find them. Here we go.
Is Keith allowed to fix battle dress? It seems like he could do that, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
My
could.
guess is that both Gregor and I could do it.
It would be, I mean, so technically it's going to be a vac seat plus intellect or education check.
Oh snap! I might be the
Or
best
you
one.
could do it as a task chain, and you could do essentially, I guess, mechanical plus intellect and education, or you could do it plus somebody else doing vac seat plus intellect and education. If you want to do a task chain, if you wanted to modify it, it's basically going to be based on vac suit.
So if we're doing a mech check, let's use my astromech droid.
I have 2 in vac suit and 2.
Well, I can do both of those at +2.
Okay, then you're set.
Yeah.
That's as good as I can do too. So I can go do other stuff.
So you want to do a task chain, or do you want to do it individually?
Let's do it. I'll help.
But do you want to task chain or?
Yeah, let's task chain.
So Tyr has a tech level 11 base society, but there, of course, is much higher tech going through the port, and is for sale, especially in the high port. But the world itself can only produce tech level 11. But they do have Class A starports, both high and low ports.
Not good. Okay, 9.
No, that's pretty good.
That's +1.
Yeah. So that's a +1 to whatever. So was that your mechanics check?
I have one in mechanic and one in the other one as well. So it works.
Okay.
It works either way.
Okay. So what did Keith want to make?
I got 11 on the vac suit check.
Okay. So did that include the +1?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Or no, it didn't. So
12.
That would give me 12. Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to repair or possibly add modifications to battle dress.
Nice.
Now, of course, they have your battle dress. Of course, has open slots for adding in various modifications and things of that nature.
So we need to fix Gregor's battle dress because it has a big hole in it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what you've been spending your time. You're basically patching it, slapping on some Bondo. There's going to be a big I don't know if you're gonna primer it or if you're just gonna leave it the Bondo beige. Just buff it out. Yeah.
Just like is the captain kind of putting out a thing like I don't want y'all to do bad stuff or
You're the one who talked to them and gave us like permission to fuck with Porthang, so like it's
yes.
yours to mess up, I guess. But
Okay. Well,
if
would you
that's
feel
only if you want
better
to.
if I ran a grav bike race here on Tier, promoted it, and then rigged it?
That you could probably get away with that, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then
Yeah, I
that's what
mean,
I want to do.
so they do have G racing, and but King, make a computer and this is just going to be a routine check. Make a computer plus intellect or education check.
All right. That's a 9.
So there is a art exhibit. Basically, it's kind of so where Devin and Cameron and I used to live. There was the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry, OMSI, and
Uh huh.
every once in a while they would have something actually semi-cool that would come through. And the last semi-cool thing that came through was a exhibit of all the items that were found in King Tut's tomb.
Yeah, that was
It
pretty
wasn't the
cool.
real items; they were reproductions. But anyways, it was cool to see these in person, and it was kind of cool to walk through. And so it's kind of like that. There is an art exhibit of historical art pieces, but none of these are from Tyr. These are historical art pieces of the Tyrian lordships, and the advertisement openly states that these are art pieces from the royal halls of Depress and from the royal halls of Acis.
Okay. I'd like is there like any kind of close by to where the exhibit is there any kind of bar or club or park or anything like that
Roll a
within a
roll
reasonable distance?
roll a
Roll
d6.
a all right. 1.
There is both. There is a park near. There is not a bar or a club. There
Uh-huh.
is a park. It is a very fancy park, and
Nice.
there is a 4-star restaurant that is nearby.
Okay. So what if I were to try to go rent like a pavilion in the park and do a holographic Disney Zazzle show and display? And while we move all the stuff for me or whoever moves all the stuff to the pavilion, okay, to set up for this great show, and all the crates and everything, we sneak our battle dress with our chameleon shit on it, okay, and that is what we put on to go do the heist inside the place for the royal artifacts. And if we pull it off right, we can take the artifacts and put them into all our holographic gear and shit and sneak it right back up on the ship in plain sight.
Man, so the only thing allowed. Let's see here. Carrying weapons is discouraged. They do allow it is law level
Oh,
7. They do allow
oh,
holstered sidearms
yeah.
as long as they can see them.
Oh, you see, you're going on the assumption that I'm asking or anything like that, and I'm saying I
No,
set
no,
up
no,
this
no,
big.
no. I'm not talking about you. This isn't a concern of you smuggling the items there. That's not the concern. What I'm saying is that the only thing allowed is an open carry weapon in a
Right.
holster and a
Yeah.
plate, and they will essentially like mm, they'll allow something like a Diplo vest, but like actual visible cloth armor is banned. So
Yeah.
everything except for maybe a cloth leather jacket or a Diplo vest
I
is a
get
no go.
that. I'm
But
wanting to hide the
if you
battle dress
if
in my gear and take it off the ship and into town.
if you do get caught, you're
Oh yeah.
talking about some serious shit. Like um, it it's not good.
Well, I can say goodbye to Ting because he's going to be in jail.
Well, now I mean I'm
Right.
not committed yet. I'm thinking. I'm putting it together in my head. What of this royal art exhibit? Like, what kind of price tag is on all that shit? What is the estimated value of that?
Go ahead and you can make another. This one will be a.
I've got
This will
broker if you need that.
an average computer plus intellect check.
All right. That's 11.
Okay, so looking through the historical database that is frequently updated as at every port your database is updated with the current information that is available. You would know that these art items are nearly priceless. Depress has made numerous overtures to the Third Imperium, complaining that during the Tyrian lordships, which ended about 800, roughly 700 or 800 years ago, that during the Tyrian lordships, the Tyrians came in and just raided these worlds, specifically Depress and Asus, and stole their essentially. It would be like a country coming in and raiding the United States and taking the Statue of Liberty and the original Constitution. And
Man.
so they took all of this shit and then basically took it back to Tyr and put it on display to show how great they are at raiding. Now, in the modern day, of course, the Tyrian lordships were put down by mercenaries from the Glorious Empire, hired by Asus because they got tired of their shit. But the reality is that these items were never returned, because as soon as the Tyrian lordships were ended, the Glorious Empire mercenaries were like, okay, we're done, give us land. And they didn't give them land, and so they took land. And they've been an ongoing issue ever since. But those artifacts were never returned to Depress or Asus.
So if we managed to get them to Asus or Depress, they'd probably pay a lot of money for them, but we'd have to get them there.
We'd
Well,
have to get them there,
Depressed
and
is
Tyr's
right.
going to be pissed.
Right,
Yeah.
but Depress is right next to Jagersil, which
No.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
it's the very next system over, DPRES, right?
yeah, I mean, so the
Is right next door to Jagersil.
yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it's 1 parsec. It's 1 parsec core word from
Yeah.
Yggdrasil.
And it's a capital.
It is. There is an imperial. There is an imperial base there, naval base. It is a frontier naval base, but it is a naval base nonetheless.
We could get to Asus faster. It's
We could get to
perfect way.
Aces. I'm toying around here to see if it's worth it, you know.
Oh, that was the other thing they learned, that Tic Tac is currently under a red zone. It has been interdicted by the Imperial Navy and by the Interstellar Scout Service. Nobody knows why.
Diseased, right? Or
Yeah, we don't know why.
Nobody knows why. You guys have theories, since you've been to Tic Tac and you happen to blow up a secret lab there. But Aside, that's your guess. You don't know what the reason is.
Yeah, I don't really know.
If we were to get the artifacts and take them to the naval base and depress and donated it back and redone, would that, in theory, go far into squashing some of our beef with the Imperium?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Okay, well, the Imperial naval fleet is there in Depress, and I understand it's a far way, but if we were to get the artifacts and return them there at the Navy base and just donate it back, like we've liberating seized art from long ago and reuniting it with the thing, and if we let the Imperium guys get the glory of returning it to them,
Does anybody,
would
Gregor, do you have any kind of Imperial naval background?
No, I'm Navy. I'm Army.
Your Army.
I do have naval practice somehow, but
I thought Captain Beth was Imperial Navy.
Was Beth Imperial Navy? Or no, she was Scouts.
Oh, she was Scouts. She
It
was
was
Imperial Scouts.
She was in the Navy.
Yeah, that's right.
Both Gregor and Beth. Both of you can make a routine intellect check.
Come on, please. 7. Fuck. Oh no.
What? Wait, what did Beth get?
7.
So
and I got 6. It's routine.
That's routine.
Yeah.
So both of you know a couple of things. The first thing is that Imperial doctrine in the entire Trojan Reach, and this went for Navy, Scouts. No, maybe not so much Scouts. But it went for Navy and Army for sure. Scouts know of the doctrine is that the Third Imperium has a it's not a hands-off approach, but they have a doctrine that essentially you're not allowed, the Third Imperium is not allowed to make any one system think that they have favor over another. This is not an imperial region. The only imperial client state that exists is essentially Depress, Dostoevsky, to a lesser extent Gabriel and Realgar. The reality is that they don't want any of these other worlds to think that the Third Imperium is endorsing them in any way. So, I mean, on the one hand, they have a base at Depress, and it is under their jurisdiction, but it wouldn't really garner you any favor by returning items stolen from Tyr, even though you're stealing them and giving them back to the people that they belong to. The people of Depress would love you, or the people of Asus would love you, but the Third Imperium is not going to look kindly on it. They're going to treat it neutrally, and you're a criminal for stealing it either way.
No, I'm going to leave this alone. I think we're really loaded with money, so it's not like I really need to take the chances on that. And if I can't really get political favor, which is really the most valuable thing to us right now, then I think I'll see about sponsoring. No, I'm just gonna go hang out and carouse with everybody else and be a good team.
Yeah.
I've been a diplomat. Yeah, I've been a diplomat. I'm gonna go to the real fancy restaurant and go sit at the bar at the. Well, no, I'm gonna go with the crew and we're gonna party.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the trashy bar where we watch people beat the shit out of each other and drink beer.
So you're going back to the fighting champ. So are you essentially just getting loaded for 6 days, or?
That's my plan.
So over the course of 6 days, wow.
Okay, let's do 5 so we have 1 day to recover and like drink juice or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Drink Gatorade for 24 hours.
That should fix it, right?
You know, that's,
I,
what I
I,
do.
I wouldn't mind taking on an Aslan in a fucking bot fight.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
A bot fight? What are you gonna do? He's gonna run a bot, and you're gonna run a bot.
No, a fight in the ring to the first blood. That's what the Aslan dudes do. They use their dew claws, and I'm not even going to use it.
And you would get monkey knives, yeah.
I don't want the monkey knives.
You need the monkey knives. We've done this
No,
before.
I don't. I've got the fucking claws that are way more
Okay.
powerful than the monkey knife. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That is better.
yeah. I'm still rigging it because I have the badass claws and they don't, and my claws will fuck them up.
Or how's that? How are they going to handle that? Are they going to be like, okay, that's close enough to a monkey knife? Or are they going to be mad?
It's part of my body. It is my stuff.
So there are no Aslan in the 6 days.
Oh shit!
Well, then I'm just gonna
That
drink.
come in to the fighting chance. There are most of the combats are hand to hand and are just UFC type fights. There are a couple of fights that do involve gunplay. Those are against modified bots, and those are semi-fun to watch.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
just gonna drink.
and so you guys spend 5 days, essentially, getting shitty. Which you guys, for pirates, you guys haven't really had a whole lot of chance to just sit around and get drunk. Which,
Yeah,
that's
it's essential.
I know,
It's a
right?
skill. If we get some kind of skill point endurance.
Yes,
Yeah, we
exactly.
should get like better at piloting.
All of you, and I need to. All of you can make a athletics endurance check.
Drinking that much.
Yeah, if
I
you
don't
don't
have any
have
athletics.
athletics endurance, it's just a straight 2D plus your endurance modifier. Also, how much money are you spending?
I don't fucking know.
Over the course of a week, I figure I spend like 300-400.
Dex and what?
I'm gonna spend about $5,000 this week.
Oh my god!
Damn,
I was getting beer, so I'm like,
I rolled so bad.
Man, random shots for everybody. Funny jokes will get you a shot. If you tell a fucking funny, if you pull
We're
a
gonna
good
inflate
prank.
the currency
So-
by
Yeah.
spending
So I will
time.
start with Gregor. On how much money are you spending throughout 5 days carousing?
$1,000. I'm cheap.
Well, I mean, $1,000 in 5 days. That's a lot of booze. I mean, probably not as much as you think because you're probably buying for other people. But I will give you a +5. Go ahead, and the first check that you need to make is a carouse plus endurance, or make a carouse plus social check with a +5 to that for the amount of money you're spending.
+4. Carouse,
Yes.
Yeah.
which I have a 0.
Well, that's
Man,
okay.
you
You
ought-
get a +5. I mean, money
And I
talks.
got a -1 on the social, though.
A 7. Okay. Okay. Roll 1d. And roll another d. So you pick up a rumor, and this kind of goes with a rumor that these guys picked up last week talking to some spacers. that the rulers of Birney are hiring engineers to build a high port because they want to control traffic that goes through their system. Now, the rumor that you heard last week kind of plays into that, in that they wanted to not just control the traffic, but essentially Birney wants to tax traffic that's going through the system. This is the second time you've heard this, that it is that Birney is, they want to have better control over traffic going through their system.
Skull.
And then, yeah, nice. And then the last thing for Gregor to do is to make a roll 2d plus your athletics endurance, or if you don't have athletics endurance, it's just your endurance modifier.
Which is 0.
Well, shit, you handled your 5 days of drinking pretty well. I would say you've got a bit of a headache, but beyond that, you're dealing with it pretty well.
Doc, I need an ibuprofen.
Yes, an Aslan profen. Ting,
And anti-diarrheals.
yes. Ting, how much money are you spending?
Spending $5,000. I'm buying food. I'm buying drinks. I'm throwing a party. We're gonna have a good time. I want everybody to like me. It's gonna be great.
So you can make a carouse plus social check plus 10.
I'm fabulous, by the way.
Yeah.
22.
Okay.
So close. No,
Yeah. No, darn. So roll 1d.
All right. 4.
And roll a second d.
5.
So you pick up a rumor from a interstellar scout that is having dinner at this fancy restaurant. Looks like, I mean, his uniform is pressed and he looks cleaned up enough to be at this 4-star restaurant. But at the same time, he looks like he probably hasn't been off ship in a while. You get that look in your eye when you've been in space too long.
Yeah.
And he tells you, he says that if the Imperium captures you, and he says he's not saying that you are or aren't a pirate. He's saying, if you were and you were to get captured, he says you can avoid execution if you ask to be transferred to the scout service instead. He says they'll send you to one of the most dangerous suicidal missions they have, but at least you won't be shoved out of an airlock and you'll have a chance.
Right. Is that generally how they treat all pirates, or is it just you think they might like someone that I could be?
He says that he personally knows a guy who is in the scout service that serves on another ship who has a brother, and his brother's girlfriend's sister, her best friend's uncle, did exactly that, and they posted him to a scout service team.
Wow, that's some amazing news. That's good to know. I mean, that's something we all probably would like to know. It make us a little easier. Not that I'm really a pirate or anything. I'm getting in the music industry. I'm Rock Hardware, and I am about to release my new album,
Rock
Bio
Hardware.
Mega Funk.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
At least
the
there were
commercials
no.
for Rock Auto just popped into my head.
I'm just glad there weren't any cousins in that information chain. That makes it seem more legit.
Yeah, because they
there-
start
there-
talking about cousins, and you thinking they've been kissing.
There might have been some relations in there somewhere.
Oh shit! Never mind.
So Ting, make a athletics endurance check.
Oh, did the one I rolled earlier not count?
Oh, what did you roll earlier?
I rolled an 8.
Oh, yeah, no, you are hung over. Like on the 6th day, you climb out of your rack and you're just sitting in the. Everybody knows that how this goes. You're sitting in the common area and you're just like this, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know,
I, can
all
I
the
record?
lights are dimmed and they're still too bright. The sound of the toaster going off gives you a headache.
So
I
if
want
I'm not too hungover, I can do like a medical check, right?
Yeah,
And probably.
yeah. You
Okay,
Oh
you
so
man,
plug
what's my
IV bags,
turn?
IV bags of Gatorade into everybody.
fuck
Just
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
anybody see John Sugar? You've been watching John Sugar on Apple.
No.
This guy supposedly has the ability to absorb alcohol 50 times faster than a normal human being.
Oh
He
Jesus.
can't get drunk.
It's like Wolverine.
So the whole show he's sitting there drinking scotch like it's water.
Yeah, right. So Keith, how much money are you spending?
400.
Okay. So, course of a week, 400 credits. I'll give you a +1. You can make a carouse plus social with a +1.
Okay, so that's. Oh, I got box card. So that's 17.
Okay. Okay.
Dang.
Roll 1d.
One.
Oh, 1D. 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll the second d.
5.
So you end up meeting another one of these scouts, and serves on the same ship as the scout that Ting talked to. And this guy, over the course of 5 days, meeting him on and off, he tells you the space kraken is out there, and he's hungry this year.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
That's that's good to know.
He says
Whereabouts is he?
he says that he heard that the space kraken was hunting for ships around Exy in the Borderlands subsector.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
I don't
Maybe we
know.
should go hunt the Kraken.
That would be fun to go cut the Kraken. Really,
Yeah.
fuck the main adventure. Let's go cut the Kraken.
I'm tempted.
Go ahead
Not
and make
gonna lie.
a athletics endurance check.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh no.
3.
Keith doesn't even get out of his bunk on day
No,
6.
no, I'm
The
done.
yeah, the rest of you are meeting around the in the common area, and Keith's like just in his bunk, probably in the head. All right, Beth, how much are you spending?
I put down $1,000.
Okay, so yeah, with $1,000, you get a +5. Go ahead and roll carouse plus social with a +5.
Uh, 13.
Roll 1d
5,
and roll a second d.
6.
You hear a rumor from some spacer in the Fighting Chance that there's a lost ruby mine on Paul that was overrun with monsters that came from off-world.
Ooh, cool.
And
Did they know like what kind of monsters or?
yes.
I like hearing details.
Yeah.
And I knew you were going to ask that, and as soon as you asked that, my brain just completely went, nah? What? What are monsters? Come on, I have this. It is... He heard that it was overrun by Chamax.
I don't know what those are. Okay.
So, you guys have actually dealt with the Chamax before. They are mildly psionic, telepathic spiders.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. Yes.
I remember those.
Yeah, yeah, they took over. Well, what used to be, what used to be your station at Vorite.
Yep. They were there when we landed there.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
pretty spooky. I did not like that.
Now, what you know, I mean, history on Chamax is a little vague, but what you know about Chamax would be that the common thread is that if they were to invade or show up on an inhabited world, in pretty short order, the inhabited world would end up not being inhabited anymore. They are apex predator hunters. They're a lot in a lot of ways. They're like the xenomorph from Alien. I mean,
Yeah.
Do they breed really fast?
Yes and no, but they're the big part of the big part about Chamax is that they're going to hunt and devour.
Everything.
Yeah. And
Right.
and they are an insect species, so if there isn't a female, one of them will become a female. They'll just change.
I mean, you could develop a bioagent that would kill the spiders, right?
Oh, because that hasn't been tried.
Well, hold on, and then once you
there was an entire classic traveler adventure about this.
but if here's the scheme, right? You get your bioagent set up so you can kill just the spiders and nothing else, and then you let the spiders go in places, and then you charge community an extermination fee to remove the spiders. And if things get a little bit out of hand, you go, "Oh, we failed that one," and you just go on to the next place.
I think so. My guess is that the rumor can't be true because the planet isn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
you've been to Paul.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you found one of the vaults. I mean, it's
Yeah, exactly.
you
So
know,
it can't,
you didn't
can't
run
be
into
right.
any Chamax.
The
mean,
spacecraft rumor is pretty interesting, though.
It's not necessarily wrong, though. I mean, there is an alien species on the planet, the Aslan, and some of them went batshit and did attempt to take over a vault, not a ruby mine. So maybe there could be some overlap there. You know,
Maybe
if they're
I gave
playing
a
the telephone
telephone.
game.
Yeah.
Beth,
Yeah.
did you make a athletics endurance check? Let's see how hungover the doctor is.
Like, not very. I rolled really good, so I kept the dice upright here. It's athletics and endurance,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
So athletics endurance is a skill that you can add your endurance DM to.
So I got 13 total then.
Okay.
So I did good.
So yeah, that's not too bad. You've got a headache, but you're functioning way better than Keith.
Yeah, I need to do medical. I need to do like a first aid check or something.
You might need to jack him into an IV bag, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I roll or do they just do it?
Yeah, you can roll medic plus. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to roll. You hook him up, and Keith's in his bunk for day 5 or day 6, recovering. Gregor's kind of hungover. Ting is really hungover, but whoever wants to can make the electronics comms plus intellect or education check. Now, if you're really hungover, like if it's Ting, who usually is going to do it, he's going to be at a -1 because he's so hungover.
That's fine. It's just a +2 now instead of +3. Does anyone else do better than that?
Probably not.
All right. I still get an 11.
Okay, so
Good.
Ting is sitting there with he's got. Okay, here's something else.
Got his head on
I've done
He
this.
got his head sticking in the throne.
No, maybe Keith does. Yeah, he's got an IV bag and there's a bucket next to him. So Keith is up on the bridge, checking out communications, and kind of catching up. You guys are still in the starport. You paid your berthing fees ahead of time, and you know he's got the bottle of Gatorade on his left side, and he's got a cup of coffee, synth coffee, on the right side. And he's like kind of alternating between the two hands as he's browsing the local data net. And you see that a system-wide communication went out, and this happened 5 days ago. But essentially, Tyrian Orbital put out an all-points bulletin looking for Porthang. It wasn't a... It's not necessarily an all-points bulletin, but it was a request for information if that ship was seen. Today, it came in that ship has been seen. And it is refueling at the large gas giant in the secondary star system.
Time to go.
It's time to go.
Oh no. That's not good because it's like
It's way the fuck out there.
it's like a jump.
Yeah, you would have to jump. That's going to take you a week to get out there. And by then, they're going to be gone because it's going to take them 3 to 5 days to refuel, and then they'll jump.
Well, let's do the math and see how long it'll take us to get there.
Okay, so somebody needs to make an astrogation check if you're hungover. So who's doing the astrogation check?
I have astrogation.
So what is the astrogation check?
So it'd be astrogation plus intellect or education, but it depends on how hungover to see what your minus is going to be.
I'm gonna do it because I'm not hungover. Oh, probably.
I'm not that hungover, and I can do +3.
Okay, do it. Go ahead. Because I only got 7. So.
You guys are working with a half crew because you guys are all drunk.
I'm pirates. What do you want?
Okay, so you're able to plot a course for a 9 diameter jump because you got early jump, or the large gas giant. Who wants to make? Well, Beth, you need to make a. So are you requesting immediate access to lift off?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
What would it take just to go on regular maneuver drive?
You're looking at like 4 to 6 weeks. I mean.
So I guess jumping is the only option.
Yeah, well, that is a really good question. And let me look at. Let me give us. So even at 6 Gs of thrust. Yeah, you're looking at. So this is going to be over 1 billion kilometers. You're looking, yeah, it's going to be about a week and a half at maneuver drive at 6 Gs, and that's actually really good.
So if we got there in a week, that they would probably have jumped by then.
Well, there's a possibility that so if you jump from here and so right now you've got a +1 on your astrogation check. Depending on what you get on your so first, Beth needs to make her piloting plus dex check. Tyrian Orbital Prime gives you clearance to disembark.
Before we disembark, I have a couple of questions,
Okay.
if I could. Is there a system defense boat or anything in that area,
In the secondary systems, uh,
or any kind of big, large?
mostly there are corporate concerns in the secondary system because most of the stuff that happens in the secondary system is going to be mining concerns. They let
Uh-huh.
the Tyrian corporations kind of handle themselves.
And do they have a system defense boat or any kind of
That
security?
that far, you mean for the corporate concerns?
Yes.
Uh, they're because it's in the secondary star system. They're not required to list their assets to Tyrian Orbital.
Right. Okay.
So there's
So,
nobody that can help
knowing
us out.
corporate assets, they probably have an entire army out there.
Well, what corporation is it?
Uh, there's a number of Tyrian corporations that operate out there, mining concerns, hitting the small worlds that are out there, looking
See,
for different.
maybe if I told you what I was thinking, it would. See, I'm thinking if I put if I bribe the corporation to hold that ship and hold it until we get there, that perhaps they would use their local assets to tell those dudes that they can't go anywhere, they must wait.
So any broad wave that you send out there is going to take 3 days to reach them and 3 days for a return.
Well, if they have a local head of the corporation here that could send the orders, the 3 days there, the order gets there. That's probably faster than they can refuel, right?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Would you like me to try to do
I mean,
that?
if they are really hustling, if they think that they're on a time crunch and they're really hustling, they can probably refuel a 400 ton ship in about 4 or 5 days. If they are really, really hustling.
So if they're
Okay.
4 or 5 days, the message could in fact get there, but we might not be able to get the response. But
We might be able
right,
to jump there in time though if we do really well on the jump.
all right, then I guess we
So-
jump. I was thinking if I went to the corporation and just see if they would accept my payment and bribe, they would give the order from here.
So if
And then-
you do really well on the jump, so a jump is 1d6 plus 1, the number of days.
Mhm.
But if you do really well on the jump, it could subtract from that.
Okay.
So I got 8 on the piloting check.
Okay, so you are disembarked, and I assume you are heading out at max thrust. Full
Yeah.
burn.
Gotta get there.
Okay, so who's going to divert power? Power plus engineering power plus intellect or education check.
Probably Gregor.
I +3.
Nice. So you are looking at so after about 42 minutes, somebody can make the engineering J drive plus intellect or education check. You are at a +1.
What am I down
For being
So-
for being hungover?
You are down. You're down -2.
-2. Okay.
So it'll be -1 since it's a +1.
Yeah, so I'd still be +4 on my jump drive.
That's
Sure.
still better than me. So drunk you better than sober that or hungover you.
They get him into engineering and just sit him down with like a stand next to him for his IV bag. Just press the button.
Alright.
Just press the button.
we have the crew
All right,
bot.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Big red button
Let's see
to
what
jump.
happens.
Don't fuck it up. Yeah, you're fine.
So that's 12.
Okay. I was like, why is that? How is that so low? You will be able to make the jump in 5 days.
Nice.
It depends on how fast they're working.
Yeah, so it's really a race against their refueling speed.
Well, if they do it real fast, if they do a fast refueling, then in their poorly maintained ship, man, that's probably not a recipe for success.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out. Hmm. Well, that's not good for them.
That wilderness refueling shit is
Hard.
Yeah.
dangerous shit, man.
Yeah, it can be fucking quite dangerous.
Yeah, and if they're already poorly maintained, if they tried some dumb shit like go to the deep or something like that, chances are we would never see them again.
That would suck too. And we'd never know for sure. We just have very strong suspicions.
So they're sticking to the shallower levels of the gas giant and are refueling. You guys will make it there in 5 days. So your 5 days goes by. You are going to be coming out of jump early. You have kind of fought fought off your hangover, and after 5 days, you guys come out of jump. What's the first thing you're doing?
Scanning, I'm gonna find this fucking ship.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna add a +2 just because of the ship that we're in.
Yes. Do that.
12.
Here. You're doing an active scan.
Yeah.
They are flickering. You are picking up a blip flickering at the very edge of distant. Actually, it's probably more like long. I don't know if they. Yeah, they didn't put long distance on there, but it's beyond 50,000 kilometers. They are blipping. You are picking up a ping of a transponder set to passive that is pinging as Porthang.
I'd like to send him a message in Prince.
They are currently traveling under max burn of 1G.
I wanna send him a message, like tight beam communication to him, and I wanna use Prince Greyhigh's voice
Okay.
on it and identify myself as him.
Do you want to get the disguise net thing over your face, or?
I'm not. I'm just gonna send an
Oh, it's just
audio.
audio.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I'm just gonna use his thing and tell him that this is Prince Grey High, and I have some urgent business to discuss with you. Please respond. Poor thing.
Hmm.
I have a shriek box. I can mimic his ass voice. I've spent time with him.
There's no response.
All right. Well,
That was their chance.
that was their chance.
What do you guys
What do you want to do? Are you wanting to close and get on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we initially just start with an ion missile in case they're trying to jump like immediately?
Fuck yeah, we can launch a couple
good
ion
idea.
missiles.
Nobody's hungover anymore, so
Yeah.
they should be able to do everything well.
Yeah.
Nuke 'em.
So
Nuke 'em.
at this range, it will take 10 rounds for that missile to reach them.
Is that still faster
That's
than
faster than we can get there.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
So I assume we're going to Mach 6.
Yeah, I think so.
We need to get there, and we're launching 2 ion missiles at them.
Okay.
If they warp out, if they jump out, can we tell where they're going?
No,
I
but
don't
you can
think
make some
so.
good guesses. Everybody roll initiative.
Is it 1 or 2?
8.
Oh.
Is Keith just rolling bad tonight?
I guess so. He rolls well when it matters. So
Usually.
yeah.
Okay.
I missed whatever you said.
So
I turned my headphones off like a dumbass.
So how many missiles are you launching, Hank?
2.
You're firing 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
that should be enough with the multiplier. If they both hit, chances are that'll totally power his funky ass down.
Ah.
What's their power level?
What
Oh, shitty shit.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
shitty. I'm trying to make sure that
their subsidized merchant power plant usually is like 135.
and so each missile will do 2D times 10. So, I mean, if they're 135, then on 2 rolls of 2D, we need to come up with over 13. And that kills all power, everything.
So Beth, you are at thrust 6, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Are you
Florida.
doing a tactics naval check?
I could. I don't know why I'd ignore what I know about the Navy.
Right.
Let me see here. So if I just add tactics naval, I get 10.
It would be tactics naval plus intellect or education.
So it'll be 12.
So everybody, let's see.
4, right?
Yes. The plus 4.
Beth is like 15. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
So
Beth gives out a bunch of orders um, that essentially comes down to hurry up and wait as she is doing a max burn. Gregor, what are you doing?
Well, let's see. I think I'm going to get up my battle dress and stay here in the engineering room.
Okay, you could do that. Yeah. So you're throwing on battle rise. So there
My repaired battle dress.
there are some options for engineers, and see, here's another reason the StarCraft operations manual is a must-have. There are some things that engineers can do to temporarily increase their maneuver drive. So you could essentially make a engineering maneuver drive plus intellect or education check to possibly add a additional 1G of thrust to the maneuver drive for an entire round. But um, if you fuck that up, it can damage the drive. Even if you don't fuck it up, you could damage the drive. So that's up to you.
Okay, Captain. Do you want more power?
Shit. I'm gonna defer to my engineer.
oh jeez.
I'm sorry, you know more about this shit than I do.
It's like overclocking a computer. If you don't have the right cooling for it,
Yeah.
So don't.
Yeah.
right?
So what's your M drive skill?
2.
Oh, nice.
I've got,
I vote.
I've got a
I
neural
vote we go
jack.
for it.
That's a wonder of a neural jack.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, the
And
engineer
I'm
says
1 on the intellect. So I'm +3.
all right. It looks like it's happening.
all right.
Let's hopefully not damage our maneuver
Let's
drive.
hope we don't have a burnout.
Yeah. Oh.
Ah! so you go to overpower or overthrust the maneuver drive, and the drives kind of go pup, 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 and you
Shit.
lose 1G of thrust for this round.
Okay. Let's
Sorry,
not-
Captain.
Yeah. Hey, you did your best.
I'll commit Harry Carey.
Man.
Sudoku. Commit Sudoku right now. Okay. Actually. Okay. Keith Clark, what are you doing?
Other than trying to increase the maneuver drive's power or speed, I guess. Is there anything else I can do that would be useful in this situation?
You could try to repair. Well, I mean, you could try to repair whatever overcharge was done to the maneuver drive, bring it back up to 6G. You're at 5G
Do
right
it.
now. And the
Yeah, I'll
boat's
do
floored.
it. Yeah, I'll do it.
What do you roll?
It would be engineering maneuver drive plus intellect or education.
Okay. And I got 8.
Okay, so you are able to get the power regulated and flowing properly again, and so everybody can feel the ship kind of lurch as it begins to take off at full thrust again. Ting, what are you doing?
I'm gonna put a sensor lock on the Porthang.
Okay, go ahead and make a sensors plus intellect or education check.
That's an 11.
Okay. You have a sensor lock on Porthang. Alright, Beth. You could attempt to maneuver the ship so that you can try to close the... You could try to close the... I mean, at this range, you're basically you know, you have the option of coming in a straight line is going to be your fastest route.
Yeah, I'm just flooring it super hard. That's what I'm doing.
So you're just flooring it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going for it. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
It took so long to track these fuckers down.
Gregor, what are you doing this time?
Peeing my pants.
Hanging on really tight.
This repaired suit's kind of tight.
Yeah, you're putting on your suit. Okay.
Uh, I'm having a ration bar.
You're doing
And
what?
I'm smoking on my pipe.
He's
Okay.
having a snack. He's getting his blood sugar all ready for when we go in on the airship.
Okay.
I don't need to eat for another 4 hours.
Well, that's not good. All right, Keith. What are you doing?
I was thinking it might be wise to check to see if there's anything being aimed at us right now. But I don't think I can do that because things on sensors.
Yeah, it's so far out. I mean, you've got a sensor lock on it, but your sensor resolution. So technically, what you can see is almost nothing.
Mhm.
You have
They might not even see us at this distance. I mean,
you
Yeah, they
have
might not.
you have a blip on active radar lidar. You have a just a thermal blip on thermal. You know that there's a heat source from their drive, and you're aware that they're there, and you've got a ping, and that's it.
Okay. I can't really think of anything useful to do right now, so I'm just going to hold out.
Okay. What are you doing, Tang?
I'm gonna again command them as the leader of the Grey Eye movement that they need to talk with us or severe repercussions. I will try to you know this is Prince Grey Eye. If you don't respond and parlay with me, there will be severe repercussions, and you will lose your place within the movement.
Make a persuade plus charm check.
I'm still gonna do it fabulous. 7.
Shit.
Well, maybe at least they'll talk. I mean, fuck.
Submit authorization code.
Oh,
Huh.
shit.
Well, I know what I'll be doing next round. It's a back and forth. We'll wait till next round.
Okay.
Maybe Keith could use his skills to hack that shit with the intrusion or the decryption software, and see if you can fake that shit, Keith.
Being something to do.
All right.
Yeah, I give you something to do, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Captain Beth, what are you doing?
I need to do an athletics check because I'm slamming the pedal so
You're
hard into
pressing
the
it.
floor.
I had a Volkswagen Rabbit that if you got all the way to the bottom, you could press that pedal just a little bit harder and dent the firewall, and get just a little bit more out of it. Yeah. So yeah, you are chasing
Taking
them
it
down.
behind.
Beth, make a recon plus intellect check.
11.
You see on the passive sensors, because there is a target lock on Porthang, you see that there is something on the sensors showing that something has come out of Porthang.
Probably a missile.
It had babies.
It doesn't seem to be. There are several things. It does not seem to be under power.
Oh, all right. They're just jettisoning stuff. Maybe they're trying to go faster because they only got the one G. Oh man. All right, I'll let my other crewmates know, and maybe one of them has an idea what's coming out.
Gregor, what are you doing?
I'm taking a nap.
You are now geared up in your battle dress.
I've eaten. I've had my pipe. Now I'm
It's
taking a
sleepy
nap
time.
for battle.
You're
I mean, what
looking
else
in the
can I
mirror
do?
like,
It's not like
man.
I get in the turret and shoot.
Looking in the mirror like, man, I really got to paint this Bondo spot. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Porthang jumps early.
No.
Shit! Ah, more missiles are gonna just go.
Let's go find out what they dropped.
And yeah, I want to send the code to deactivate the missiles so we can pick them back up.
Is that a thing we can do?
They're smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Keith, what are you doing on your round? Or on your turn, rather?
So let's see. I'm going to see if I can figure out where they went. I guess so. I'm going to try to astrogate to. I'm guessing they went to Tick Tick, but I'm not really sure.
Okay, go ahead and make a astrogation check. We can bring up that map.
11.
Yeah, I mean, there are two places. Your guess is that if they already know that Tick Tick is interdicted, they probably would not go to Tick Tick. They would probably go to Hikarda.
Have we been to Hikarda?
I don't think we
I don't
have.
think you've ever been to Hikarda. There's really not a whole lot of reason to go to Hikarda.
Well, let's do something new, I guess.
Which would mean that the only other place that they could go in one jump would be to Asus after Hikarda.
So we could go to Asus and try to
Cut them off
there. Might be easier.
Or you could go to
Than here.
Hikarda and attempt to catch them while they're in mid-refueling.
Right. We do have, but we only have one jump right now because we jumped.
Yeah, that's true.
So we could go to Hikarda and try to do that, like right now.
That's
Let's
true.
do it. Jump.
Okay, so you have laid in your course. Gregor, you want to make a power plus intellect or education check?
I think that did it.
Yeah, you did. And Keith, you can go ahead and make your J Drive plus intellect or education check.
That's 14.
Okay. You will be arriving 4 hours earlier than expected in Hikarda.
Sweet.
Nice.
What are you... So, I'm sorry. So Ting wanted to deactivate the missiles before you left. Ting wanted to deactivate the missiles and see what it is that they dropped. So Ting, you deactivate the missiles, shut down their drives, and you see before you guys jump, you do see that there are 10 cargo cases that are floating out in space.
We ought to investigate and see what the fuck they dropped. I mean,
There's probably
right?
more of those shitty guns, if I had to guess.
It's probably your contraband. They were worried about getting caught.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's got bioagent and shit on it, you know,
That's true. Okay.
I don't know. I would, of course, I'll defer to whatever that you want, but I think we should go and see what the hell they dropped, pick our missiles up, and then jump. I mean,
We might have time, like, during the astrogation math
yeah,
stuff. We might
Yeah,
have
he's
time to
doing
do
math
some
stuff. Yeah, if you wanted to, Beth, you could make a piloting plus dex check to try and maneuver in, and Ting and Gregor could attempt to load this stuff in through the forward cargo bay via the breaching tube.
I rolled
sounds fun.
boxcars, so we're good.
Okay, so yes, so your guess was correct. There are 10 crates of this.
The stuff that we bought and
Yep.
Yep.
There's
All
10
right.
there's 10 crates. One of these packages in each crate.
so they were dropping them to like prevent us from hitting them with our missiles.
Yeah, they were
TJ?
essentially
What?
using them as chaff.
Yeah,
That's a ghetto
Ugh.
sandcaster right there.
it is.
Maneuver.
Yes, it's a ghetto sandcaster. Exactly.
That would have such a low chance on actually working.
Yeah,
I
I
would
guess
think.
they had so much of this shit laying around. They were like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
Well, I mean, at the very least, what we've done, okay, if they just dumped all of these things and that's what they had, that's 10 tons of them, right?
Well, no, they dropped 10 of these things, and they're 180 kilograms each.
Okay, so
For
they
the
might
total
have a
pack.
lot more. Yeah. All right. Continue on. I was thinking if they dropped all their fucking shit, they'd have to go back and get more, and therefore they would be heading back up the trail.
So I mean, you got now you have what 11 of these infantry packages.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Time to join or time to go visit the world and rip off
that's right.
rip off that
Yeah.
band-aid. Your gods are lies. Have our guns.
that's right.
I am a little pumped to see Hikaru just because we haven't been anywhere new in a while.
So your week in jump goes by, and you come out in the Hikaru system. I don't have a system planned out for this, but I can tell you that Hikaru has like it would be negative numbers on the importance scale. It is a desert world. Population is clustered around a single star town that is built up around the small downport. They do not have a high port at all. They had a massive population, but they all died off during the last years of the Sindalian Empire, and it had as much to do with starvation as it did the warfare. But accounts vary as to whether the current population is actually survivors or if they were immigrants that came here and resettled. Nobody really knows. And the population of Hikaru is not really saying one way or the other. There is very, very little incentive to colonize or to recolonize Hikaru. There are a couple of groups on the planet that have in the past tried to bring in large quantities of weapons, but they haven't really um, taken hold, and it appears that the weapons that they did bring on the world were the type that could actually damage a starship. So like ground-based missile launchers, surface-to-air missile launchers, things like that. Like they were trying to fend off against raiders, but uh, but you've never heard of anybody trying to raid Heckarda. Although, I mean, this is along the Aslan Herate, so anything is possible if they are trying to fend off Ihati. You do know that few of the population ever ventures outside of the Downport or the Star Town, and basically it exists for the entire purpose of um, essentially refueling ships to send them on their way. Believe it or not, their Downport is a Class B starport, thanks to
Wow.
the generous
Did that go?
donations of Jadeka. Yeah.
That'll be helpful.
A lot.
Thanks, Jadeco, for
Yeah.
sponsoring this
Thanks, General
game.
Development. Um, yeah, they have a tech level of 9, so I mean, can't be too bad. Most of the downport is actually consistent of underground warehouses, and like just the top part of the building is above the desert sands. They store starship components, repair yards, all sorts of things in these underground components. When you land at the starport to keep away the desert sandstorms, similar to Thief, they actually have domes that will close up over the ships to protect them. But they're not, unlike Thief, they're not shielded in any way to block sensors. I mean, it's simply for protection from sandstorms. Um, there's a steady stream of shuttles that ply between the downport, and they do have a couple of orbital facilities, but you couldn't really call them a high port. I mean, ships do dock with them, but they're basically orbital warehouses. They usually are carrying cargo. There are some starfarers that will go from downport to the orbital facilities just to check on cargo or to load onto a docked freighter, but Heckarda isn't a major port. Um, Offices at Heckarda Starport are all located planetside. Most of the planet's shareholders are actually ruling families of Heckarda itself. So, you know, money talks, bullshit walks. These guys own the planet.
There you
All,
go.
all traffic that comes through Heckarda tends to dock with the orbital warehouses, and they have some refueling capabilities, and then they move on. They most people don't even bother to go planet side. Um, Although there is a fair amount of money that can be made by going planet side offering trade, because Hecard is a desert world, they are hungry for anything that's going to come through. The Starport Corporation employs most of the people that make up the population of the world, and so most of the people on the planet never step foot off the planet because that's where their job is.
All 10,000 of them.
Yeah, all yes. Well, that is a good question. Now I'm curious. Let's see here. Yeah, you might be right. Try more like 3,000 of them.
Oh, wow.
Dang. They're
Yeah,
itty baby.
yeah. There's not a huge population, so um, and that's the native population. There is some transient traffic, but not a lot. Like I said, there is a Class B starport though.
Let's check that out for sure.
Yeah.
You want to head down to the world?
Yeah.
Well, is there a sign of the Porthang anywhere?
Yeah, that's
That's the first question.
true.
So the other thing, there are other worlds in the system, but they are really of no interest to the Hecata Port Corporation. The only other world in the system that is important to them is the innermost gas giant, which is where they fuel skim to refuel their orbital refueling operation. Orbital platform uses scooper boats to harvest gases that are then processed for fuel, drinking water, and useful chemicals. There's a chain of larger tanker craft that travel back and forth between the orbital ports and the gas giant, and those are armed and they will defend themselves. Just to let you know, those larger tanker craft also employ mercenaries as mercenary marines in case any pirates decide that they want to try to take one over. There are a couple of small mining craft, usually seeker miners, that move throughout the system, flying around the numerous planetary belts. And there are a couple of Trojan asteroids, and there are a couple of other mining ships from out of system that actually come in and try to do some mining, because the port corporation doesn't bother to stop them. So you are given clearance to land at Hecata Downport. You can make a piloting plus dex check.
Should we do the sensors check first before we do any of this?
Sure.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Did we beat
for it.
them here?
I got a 12.
Okay, so you do a sensors check, and as you do the sensors check, you don't pick up Porthang. You do pick up that there are 8 other subsidized merchants in system.
Wow, that's a lot for this little
Yeah,
rinky-dink place.
yeah, they are basically. They are either docked with the orbital warehouses, disembarking cargo, or they are disembarking and moving away, or from the 100 diameter limit. They're either coming to or fro as they are coming in and out of the system.
Okay.
I will tell you that your sensors check is registering that most of these ships are based out of either ASIS or Tyr.
That makes sense.
Oh.
Shit. Well, I piloted, let's see, 10.
Okay, so yeah, you're given clearance to land, giving a docking port 12 number, and you bring her into this world. And so as you're coming in, you bring her down, and I mean, Hecata looks like just a big ball of sand, even from orbit. I mean, there is some cloud cover, but not much. You can tell that in the few places where there is cloud cover, it seems like that area is getting a torrential sudden downpour of rain, and then as you're coming in, you can actually see it's like the cloud just kind of expels all of its rain and disperses. And so whatever area just got hit probably got flooded pretty bad. You're probably looking at about 3 to 4 inches of rain in the matter of an hour, and then it's done. And who knows when the cloud will come over. You can literally count on one hand the number of clouds that you see as you're coming in. And you come in, and as you break atmo and you actually come into the world and you are back upright, you come out of the upper clouds, and you can just see nothing but an endless waste of sand. And in the very, very distance, you can see the starport as you are coming up on it. We will pick this up next week with you docked at Hecata Downport and doing some research to try to find Porthang.
All right, cool.
Right.
That was pretty fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. Happy May Day, and I will see you next week at 7 o'clock.
Good night.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.